That's why you put plastic down, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Guys, welcome back to another video with me, Liam the Plumber. Today's video is rad valves. Now, all of us plumbers here in the UK, heating engineers, you'll know exactly how to do this job inside and out. You'll have your own set ways of doing it. You'll have your own methods, your own little tips, your own little tricks. My idea for this video is to bring you guys on the other side of that screen, turn you around, put you in my head, and put you on the other side of my eyelids so you can see and think of how I'm doing it, and you can see my thought process. My ways of doing this job might differ to how you might do it. They also might be the same. The way I do it might be, like I say, slightly different to how you would probably do certain aspects of the job, but we all get the same result. We all get the same result. So guys, if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Also, drop in the comments below what you would do differently. I'm always intrigued to know how people would do things differently to get the same job, to get the job done exactly the same, if that makes sense. Anyway, enjoy today's video, and guys, I'll see you later on. A radiator just up there. I'm just going around putting the valves on, but this is our programmer, so it's a combi. So we've currently got our hot water off anyway, but let's turn some power off. Leave them two off, then nothing will come on, and then we'll literally get the system draining. I don't turn power off, I just turn it off the programmer, and then we'll get things draining. So we've got, like I say, one rad there. We've got another one here to do. So there's only lock shields on this, they want a TRV on here. So yeah, we'll get these draining. Stick the hose on there, and then use this, which is like a little 5/16 ratchet, like in theory. You can hear it, there you go. The draining. Open up just a little bit more. So that's the size for a drain off, 5/16. And this is a KS Tools little ratchet wrench. Got it from Amazon a few years ago, but yeah, 5/16 is the one for drain offs. And all these other sizes do like gate heads, gate valve heads, pump valves, lock shields as well. So yeah, KS Tools, and it's 5/16. There you go, for drain offs. So we're just going around now, bleeding rads, and I don't know why I don't really like these side air vents. I've seen these little pins all snap off before. Yeah, it's pulling. So we've got this rad here, which I drop, which then connects into one just here, which I'm draining off. So we've got to change them valves. And we do have one rad on its own drop, which, like I say, is this one just here. Pipework comes down in that boxing and across. We do have a drain off down there, but I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to do this one a different way. Hopefully it works. But yeah, so we've got power off, we're just draining now. That front panel's open, so we'll get to behind the TV there, so open up the second panel. And then, yeah, we're all draining. So guys, I've already done one valve set upstairs. We're now moving on to down. This one is on the drop, and this is the one that feeds the one by the back door, just over there. Now, I'm going to put TRV on this side, because it's not restricted by a cabinet or anything. And these are the valves. Now, TRV in here, and you can already see I've made up the first tail. So we're going to put TRV on this side, renew the tail going into the rad, renew all the nuts and olives, of course. TRV head is just in there. And what I'll do is I'll explain what I do with the lock shield side in a second. And these are kind of the tools I've kind of got in position. So I've got grips, adjustable, the little HVAC wrench for the lock shields, olive cutters, rad ratchet, because I do have 3/4 valves over on that rad. We've also got olive puller, probably my new favourite tool, small set of grips, ratchet with a 16mm socket to do rad valves, obviously bucket, plumb tub, that kind of stuff. The protective sheet underneath is tiled floor, but still want to protect as much as we can. So we'll get this undone. So there's probably likely to be a little bit of water sitting at the bottom of this rad because it is the lowest one on the system. But fear not, we should be all good. That's how we've protected everything we need to. We'll just gently pry this apart. Might be alright, to be fair. I think we're okay. Right. Don't worry, grips on our old valve. It's fine. Valve's being replaced. That can come off. We'll soon find out if there's a bit of water in there, to be fair. A bit of a wiggle. Pull that out. Yeah, lovely. Look at that. None of the pipework's clipped. There, look at that. Right, anyway, enough of me waffling. So we're going to get the old tail out. So I like to use these thin-jawed little back hose, bark hose. Get this off. And then we'll get the old nut and olive off from the bit of pipe. So that, blimey, yeah, none of them are clipped, not even on the wall. That's the thing with working in old houses. Sometimes you just, or any house to be fair. Right, that's off there. Then we're going to use the olive puller, probably my favourite tool. So we're going to slide that into our pipe, put our nut up. We're then going to do the two up together. So I don't know if you guys can see that. It's difficult doing this one-handed. So get that tight, and then I'll try and do it this way so you guys can see the nut and olive being pulled. Fingers crossed they haven't crimped the bit of pipe when they've fitted the old valve. Yeah, we might have to put some clips on this pipe work. Bit it's flapping in the wind. There you go. Look at that. So then let your son do that, and then your olive will fall out first, then your nut, and that isn't crimped. Perfect. Now you see that isn't crimped. Just got to pull out all of that. Now, I will not use Rapid Blue or liquid PTFE on old rads because there's always water sat in there and it won't set with water. Well, I've had no success with it with water anyway. So you can see I've made up one tail. However, we're going to leave that for a minute because this is important. So with your rad tails, you see how that, I don't know if the light will pick it up, you see how that thread's been roughed up? That is essential to ensuring either your PTFE tape or your Loctite doesn't slip. It's not necessary if you're going to be using Rapid Blue or liquid PTFE on a new tail going into a new rad, but because this is a new tail going into an old rad, we're going to be using, if I can find it, there it is, I'm going to be using Loctite 55. This is my go-to thread seal for definitely, you know, rad tails on, you know, old rads and stuff. Even on newer rads, I'll still use this on white radiators because Rapid Blue stains the finish of a white radiator. So we're going to get that Loctite wrapped around there probably 8-10 times, Then we're going to wind that in using a 16mm socket and a ratchet. So if I try and do this one-handed, so that's going the right way. So hex fits into there. So then you can wind that in like so. Now you can use a ratchet spanner. Sometimes when you get really, really close to the to winding this in, the ratchet spanner will hit these fins on some of these older rads. So I just use a ratchet with a 16mm socket, deep socket anyway, and that just avoids you damaging the old rad with a ratchet. So yeah, I'll get this made up now. So this is your Loctite 55. Now, the way I was always taught, get my words out today, was start off at a thread. Now the way I'm doing this is kind of backwards to how you guys are kind of seeing it. I'm going to try and do it this way so you can see. I always start it off, Liam, that would help. Then just get a couple of winds on, and then I always crisscross. See that? Crisscross it. I don't ever apply any extra paste or anything. Just keep crisscrossing until you've got what you think is enough. It does tell you on the back of the container how much you need. So there we go. And then we just cut that off. There you go, guys. I'm going to just start off by hand. Enough wraps on there. We're going to slide our ratchet on with our 16mm socket and drive it in until it's tight. Don't have to go crackers with it. And there you go. Do you see what I mean about using a ratchet with a deep socket on these rather than a ratchet spanner? Because the ratchet spanner can get really, really close to these fins on these older rads, but I know I'm now miles away. I've got enough leverage on it as well. And there you go, that's all it needs. So then we'll put our valve on. Right, plumb tub is out the way. So now we're gonna keep our decorator's cap to one side, so the customer can have that. Nuts and olives off, like so. That's good on there. Wind that down. Controversial, maybe. Do you guys paste your nuts and olives? Let me know in the comments below. I always paste them, doesn't matter if they're new, old, paste everything, no exceptions. That's the way I was taught. Everyone was taught different ways. Then I'm gonna try and put this back on how it came off. So I always put this one on first, get that on tight, and then in theory, as you go on, I don't know if you guys can see this, as you got it onto that point there, twist, and then you don't need grips. There you go. And then wind your nut on, and then we'll do that up. Sorry about shaking Stephen's camera angles, everyone. I've got the shakes today, don't know why. Think I'm hungry, must be needed lunchtime in my head. So no grips needed. No need for grips on these. And don't go absolutely crackers. So nip them up nice and tight. Get that back off. That just twisted, so that's there. That's done. Wipe away all your excess paste, jointing compound, LSX, whatever you're using. Doesn't matter. Wipe it away, clean it up. Then we'll grab our TRV, and then we'll do up our collar. Job done on that first one. There you go, guys. So now we're going to move over to that side behind the wine cabinet. Guys, we're on our lock shield side. Now, I haven't moved the dust sheet over because there was nothing that came out of there, so I know we're all good here. Plus all my stuff which is potentially likely to damage tools is currently sat on there, and it can go back on there. So first thing we're going to do is, because this is our lock shield side, we're going to use our ratchet spanner again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up such an angle, so I'm going to count the number of turns it's been closed, so then I can do the same with the new one. So we're going to close it the same amount of turns when we come to fit it. So that's our new lock shield down there. So if we go, so that's quarter of a turn, half a turn, 3/4, full turn, 1/4, 1/2, 1 and 3, between 1 and 3 and 2. So if we close this down, if we open it, sorry, by 2 turns, then we know the lock shield then is set back. That's pretty much how we ensure the system's going to be balanced like it was before we've touched it. So yeah, 2 turns is what we're going to go with on that. We can always adjust it just after if we need to tweak it. So there we go, guys, that is the lock shield side done, balanced like the old one. TRV's over there. Now moving on to this one. So this side, you can see we've got 3/4 nuts gone onto there, so we know we've definitely got to renew the tails on there. Lock shield in here, so again I'm going to do exactly the same, so balance everything as it should. We're also going to change over the washer in this drain off as well. It's always good practice. So we'll get on with now changing these two. So this one here, guys, is all done. TRV lock shield, replaced the washer in the drain off as well. Now, before we do anything else, we are now going to work on this one. So I've moved so far in bits and pieces, and what we're going to do is, because it's carpet, we're going to put down some of this plastic carpet protector on here. Even though it's on a drop and we haven't got like a full system of water, we've still got a full radiator, etc., and I don't want any accidents with water on the carpet. So I always put plastic down, and what I'll do is I'll double it up across, so I've got a nice working area here. Then we'll still put my blue dust sheet down on top as well. It is waterproof, this, so no water can penetrate to it unless you cut through it, and then we can then drain it and then work on changing the valves. So I'm going to put you guys just under there so you can see. So with this, it's technically it's roll and stroll is all it is, and okay, I'm only here to change valves and that kind of thing, but I don't want any accidents with water, and I've got to put my hose on this yet and drain it all through. So I'll get it through up to here, try and put it under that drain off, put it up from the carpet, cut with a knife. It doesn't have to be neat because it's going to come up in a minute, and then we'll just double it up as well over here. So it would help if I actually changed the blade on my knife because it's blunt. So that's there, that's there. Yes, we just don't want any accidents. If I was doing all the upstairs rads, I would probably I'll be doing exactly the same. Sorry about the noise, but this goes down to here. Get all this plasticed up through there. There we go. Now the question is if I bring you guys over, excuse fingers, would you guys trust this drain off? When you look at that, would you guys trust that? Let me know what you guys think. Would you trust that? So we are draining. Right now, that PTFE is working on that drain off as well. So drain off works. I'll still change the washer on it. But yeah, I always put plastic down. It's a belt and braces approach. It's just how I've always been taught. I don't know how much water's going to be left in it. I don't want any accidents on carpet. Doesn't matter what carpet it is. Never take a chance. So yeah, we're going to get this fully drained now. Get the valves swapped over. Then we'll get all the little bleed points, all the pins closed, whatever you want to call them. Get them all closed. Inhibitor in. Refill the system. Check for leaks. Heat test everything, make sure all the radiators are getting nice and hot, and then balance it and tweak it if we need to. But because, like I said earlier, because we're doing the lock shields at the same time as changing the old ones, i.e. we're counting the number of turns, we shouldn't really need to balance it. It should all be fine as is, but we will still double check. So yeah, we're draining. Perfect time to have a cup of tea. So there we go, guys. We have heat on all our rads. We've got TRVs, lock shields on them. Place the washer in that drain off just down there. And then, if you guys follow me, we have put this all back together again. You wouldn't know. So yeah, everything's all cleaned up. Do you see what I mean about putting plastic down? It just protects the whole house. So yeah, we've got heat on there. And then because we have got nice heat everywhere, we can now go back to this. Set our target temp for 20. Wait for that to change. And then we'll flick this back to automatic. So there we go, guys. Rad valves all changed over. Inhibitor in, heat tested. Leak free, system is now working really, really well, and the customer now has control over those radiators as well. So simple little bread and butter job, and one I really, really enjoy. Guys, let me know, do you guys enjoy changing rad valves? Do you find it easy? Do you find it difficult? Guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next week. See you later.